and welcome back to another tutorial video for a writing exercise, writing exercise 6, sensory details in writing, taste. As we know, sensory details are descriptions that uses the five senses, sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch to add depth in writing and evoke readers' imagination. Taste is the flavor of something in the mouth. People and animals also taste with their tongue and not their teeth to identify the flavor of different things, whether sweet, salty, sour, bitter, or umami, which is one that most people don't really use probably, but it is a savory taste of broth or like meaty types of taste is what umami is. Some key points to keep in mind: practice writing each of the five senses individually. Just as I mentioned before about sight and smell, it's a good idea to practice writing the sense of taste individually to get better and stronger at that particular type of sense. The next is to utilize symbolism to describe how something looks, tastes, smells, feels, or resembles. The third is to keep in mind that people and animals can and do taste more than just food. I think this is an important one because most writers, when it comes to the sense of taste, refer to food, but there are other things that characters and animals can taste within our stories besides just food. The fourth is to know the five types of taste and how they differ from each other, which is what I'm going to go over in this chart. And finally, to show the sense of taste by your character's physical reactions or responses through their dialogue. Below here, I have a chart of words that indicate taste, which are pretty much all of the five different types of taste. The first column is for sweet, and I just listed a couple things that are sweet, such as candy, honey, baked goods such as cakes, cookies, pies, flowers, plants, lipstick or lip gloss, hot tea, hot chocolate, and coffee. All those different things are things that can be sweet. In the next column, I go over salty and just listed some things that are salty, such as potato chips, popcorn, fried chicken or other fried meats, salt water, sweat, tears, and blood. In the third column, I go over sour and some things that are sour, such as spoiled milk, lemons or other citrus fruits, candy, sodas, vinegar, and yogurts, especially when they go bad. In the next column, I go over bitter and some things that are bitter, such as bodily fluids, like bile or acid reflux. Cold black coffee is often bitter as well, and some illegal drugs or prescriptions are known to be bitter as well. And finally, I go over some things that have that umami type of taste, that savory, meaty types of taste, such as chicken or beef broth, juicy steaks, hamburgers, some vegetables such as tomatoes and seaweed. And finally, I go over a little reminder of character reactions. Taste can be shown by characters' physical reactions or dialogue. Below here, I just have two examples of a food example and a non-food example. For the food example, I just put Isaiah bit into a half lemon and puckered his lips from the sour taste. For the non-food example, I just have the little girl lick the salty taste of her tears and ran to her mother. And lastly, below here, I just have a passage from my debut novel, Eva's Promise. and some reminders. The teenage African-American waitress brought over 2 plastic cups of green goo to their table and walked off in her orange apron to the side food bar. Most people looking at Eva's thin, petite frame would assume she's a vegan, but she had never eaten in this type of restaurant before. She stared disturbingly at the cup of lime, kiwi, and spinach smoothie, and picked it up, examining the drink over as if it were a chemistry beaker. Nadine had ordered Eva one of her favorite drinks to try out for herself. Her red-haired classmate giggled. "Will you stop looking it over like it's a witch's evil potion? It's good and healthy for you." She shook her head and slurped from the straw of her cup. Eva tittered and blushed. "Sorry." She took a careful sip and smacked her lips. Nadine inclined her head, raising a brow. Well, I guess it's okay," Eva said, and sipped from her straw again. "But I'm not a fan of kiwi." "What? You've got to be kidding me." Eva twisted her mouth. "No, I'm not. I don't like the little black seeds in them, how they're kind of grainy in your mouth." "Oh, well, that's unfortunate," Nadine said. "So, how'd you like our last class reunion?" So, that is just a little short passage from Eva's Promise, just to show the sense of taste. And finally, at the bottom, I have some important reminders of spicy and crispy and crunchy. Spicy isn't an actual taste, but a pungency sensation that some people get from certain foods. So that's something to keep in mind when it comes to describing the sense of taste, because some people, they can actually taste spicy foods and it doesn't bother them at all. So, that's something to keep in mind, how that that spicy isn't necessarily a taste, but a sensation that some people get. And lastly is crispy and crunchy, which also aren't tastes, but are textures of certain foods or other things placed in one's mouth or in contact with other parts of the body, such as the feet. For example, a character stepping over dried fall leaves while walking a trail at the park. So that's something to keep in mind as well, that crispy and crunchy aren't actually taste as well. So that's all pretty much that I have for this video. Stay tuned for the next one as I go over the sense of sound one later, and some helpful tips when it comes to describing the sense of sound, which I think is one of the most neglected ones, honestly, out of all the 5 senses when it comes to using sensory details. But that is all that I have for this video. I hope it was helpful, and thank you for watching.